We are at Nashville Super Speedway, and we are green.
Looked like maybe a little bit of tire spin there by our pole sitter Priest on the outside. And look, the truck on pit road.
Tanner Gray with a problem already.
Wow, on the pace lap. They don't look like they're in much of a hurry. Is he being held by NASCAR for some reason?
Zane Smith to the lead. There's Kraus in that 19. Did not lose his starting position with that 10-point penalty. And that's was a big help for him, because if he'd had to go to the back, that would have really made getting up through the traffic difficult. Phil started on the front row last year, and then another good qualifying effort today, but just a little bit of a nudge. That's all it takes.
Yeah, he really opened up that entry, and I think Matt dove in there thinking maybe he was going to stay a little bit higher. No excuse when you run into the back of a guy this early in the race. That certainly was something that Matt could have avoided. But did you notice on the entry, Phil, how high Jack Wood was?
Yeah, I really think that Matt thought that Jack was probably going to run that second lane and that he would have room down there, but might have been a little contact, possibly. He was running close. Proximity to a couple other trucks.
You know, as racers, Phil, you could just feel his emotion. Let's see, it's already
happened.
Place. I don't know if
there was contact. It's already happened right here.
You know, that just shows you he worked so hard for this opportunity, and then here we are, just 20 laps in. Todd Bodine looking crapping over. Heck, it feels like it's 2010 again, doesn't it, Phil?
It sure does.
Oh, what's wrong with Kobe Howard?
Got a little help right on the pit road.
He needs to get right on off of pit road.
I think with the reduced pace of the field, he could probably stay on the lead lap here.
Oh, just loose on the bottom. We talked about that earlier, how difficult it is to hold that line inside of Chase Purdy, as you see Parker Kligerman slip by there.
And Michael, they were racing.
This was the end result. Here's what I'm talking about. John Hunter dives in hard. Carson goes to the bottom. And what do? You try to block a little bit. Carson was there, said, I'm not having any of that.
Very similar to what we saw with Crafton and Jack Wood earlier in the race, would you say? Agree or not?
Not really.
That was more of a block.
That was a classic block.
Yeah, Jack Woods was not an intent to block. This was a block right there. You see John Hunter not moving out to the outside wall, actually moving towards the inside.
Everybody sees Rex differently, Vince. I put this on John Hunter because right there, like Phil said, he came down to block Carson Hocevar. And when you do that, I always say, when you do that, you open yourself up to two things. The guy can let you block and move over or let out of the gas, or he can keep his nose in there. Carson kept his nose in there, and the Ford truck went spinning.
Todd Bodine seeking 800 tour for Todd, as he's the two-time champ. Running 6 races this season to get to 800 career NASCAR starts. What's been your take on his exercise of these 5 races so far with 1 to go?
I just appreciated his passion, his love, his desire to go out and accomplish his goal. Camping World comes on board with him in this 62 truck, and he's been very competitive. I think that's my main takeaway from what Todd's done.
Matt DiBenedetto, they get 4 wide with Majeski.
Oh, and that's going to create an issue and a big pile up with the 51 of Heim. DiBenedetto in
watch
there.
Out now, watch out.
Oh, Chandler Smith ends up getting involved. Infinger involved as well.
Well, we've seen them go 4 wide 2 or 3 times, and I was surprised they made it the first 2 or 3 times, and they didn't make it that time. What Dix just binds everybody up.
Yeah, the initial contact was between Corey Heim in the 51 and Matt in the 25. Grant had nowhere to go. He was the 4th truck on the outside.
Majeski, who made it 4 wide, was able to escape without any damage.
You know, as the laps tick down, you know people are going to make those dive bombs. We've saw it from the beginning of the race with Matt. Maybe we can see what getting dumped looks like from the replay here. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was definitely behind her. Max Gutierrez in that 22, that black truck. And I'm sure they were all just pushing, trying to get people going. See, there he is right there. He was a little to the right of center. That may have been what turned her sideways. But Hocevar is chased down Zane Smith, but they They're both chasing down Ryan Preece.
And they are on the move. How about this? Under 0.3 of a second. They have closed it with a couple of laps to go.
Something happened. Something's going wrong with the 17 of Ryan Preece, I think.
Smith right to the bumper. And he's got company with Hocevar. Can Ryan Preece hold off Zane Smith? The lead was more than a second, and now it's at 0.3. The white flag is out. 1 lap to go. Just over a mile left.
You think that thing shut off or something there for a moment? He had a second lead and it evaporated in a second.
Preece now jumps to the bottom to try to block Zane Smith. Smith up top.
Zane's going to lose momentum. He may lose second to Hocevar.
Hocevar now to the inside of Zane Smith for second, but that's just what Ryan Preece wants to see. He wants to see those two battling. It's going to be Ryan Preece going back to back at Nashville.
Feels so good, doesn't it?
And consecutive wins for David Gilliland Racing.
Awesome job, bud. Awesome job. Good job, boys. Super proud of you guys.
The 11th different winner this season. We talk about the depth and the balance of this series, and it comes to fruition again tonight with yet another winner, the 11th different winner this season.
And Vince, the 5th consecutive non-regular to win here in the Truck Series.
And what about that crossover move by Zane Smith getting back around Carson Hocevar as they exited turn 4 to grab that second spot?
You know, Preece's lead was more than a second, and we talked about with 6 laps left, it was 9/10, and yeah, it wasn't going to have time, we didn't think, and all of a sudden, I'll be curious to hear whether Preece did have a bobble or what happened, because Zane Smith closed on him a snap of a finger, and it was boom, it was right there on the bumper.
I thought Ryan was having some sort of an issue because, as you mentioned, he lost that second in the space of a lap.
Any kind of bobble can cause that to happen.
Just lose that momentum.
Hey race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.